According to some estimates, staging a home, making it look immaculate, clean, warm, and inviting can add roughly 7 to 10% on the overall sales price of your house. Please do not kiss that 7 to 10% goodbye, because that's money back in your pocket. Hi, I'm Jonathan Otero. I'm the owner of J&J Management Group, and We Buy Houses Seminole. And I'm going to talk to you today about 6 home staging tips that I can give you that I use whenever I'm showing a house to a prospective buyer. So the first thing that I do, and please remember these tips, these are minor little details, but they're critical in selling your house and making it look as best as possible. The first thing you want to do is you want to mow and you want to edge the lawn. And that means that you're going to have to get there a little bit early before the showing. So say your showing is at 6, you want to try to get there by 5:30 the latest, half an hour to an hour earlier, because you want to make sure, especially if you haven't been there in a week or so, and if you're in the summer months, the grass grows fast. You want to make sure you trim some of that grass back, mow it a little bit. If there's any weeds, you want to pull those weeds out right away, or spray some chemical on it to try to kill them before the buyer comes in there. And edge, here in Orlando, Florida, we use a lot of grass called St. Augustine grass. And this grass grows kind of like with vines, and it kind of grows sideways, and they try to interconnect with each other. And sometimes that grass, if you let it go and you don't landscape it, it can grow onto the cement, onto the sidewalk. You want to edge that because you want to have great curb appeal. Curb appeal is the key, because when that buyer drives up, the first thing they're going to see is that house, and they want to know, if I lived here, would I be proud to have this be my house when my friends and my family pull up as well? So the first thing is, that's first impression is big. So you want to make sure you mow and edge that lawn and try to get there a little bit early to get that done, because that's critical. If you have bad curb appeal, chances are people don't even want to walk into your house. It could be the prettiest house on the inside, but that curb appeal is that first impression, and you only get one chance to make that first impression. Second thing onto that, keeping on with curb appeal, is you want to sweep the walkways and the entryways. So sweep entryways. And that's as simple as putting a broom into the trunk of your car, and when you get there, as you're walking in to open up the house, you just take that broom and you're sweeping those entryways. Over time, the wind blows branches and leaves and things like that. You just want to get that taken care of and swept off, because again, as that prospective buyer is walking in, you want to make that house feel warm, inviting, and you want to have great curb appeal. So sweep those entryways so you can continue that theme of great curb appeal. The next thing you want to do, as soon as you walk into that house, I'm going to call this scrub-a-dub-dub. Scrub-a-dub-dub. And what do I mean by that? Scrub, particularly the kitchen countertops and the bathrooms. You want to scrub down those things, take out all the dust. Kitchens and bathrooms are what sells. Everyone knows that is the cliche in real estate. And you want to make people feel that they can live there and that they feel comfortable when they're there. Most people convene and talk in the kitchen when they're cooking. They have conversations with their relatives. And the bathroom is where you do your most private, intimate things anyway. So you want to make sure that those feel warm and inviting, and you want to scrub any dust or any potential dirt that could be in those areas particularly. But you want to scrub the house down so that way it feels nice, fresh, and clean. The next thing you want to do is, if you're showing a house, this is for realtors as well, but if you're showing a house that has active occupants living in the property and you're still selling the house, whether you're an investor or a real estate agent, if you're an investor, let's say you're doing an assignment, you're assigning your contract to someone else, but the occupants are still living there, you want to hide family photos, especially anything that has to do with religion or anything of that nature. You want to see if you can get rid of those family photos. Maybe just close them and put them in a closet somewhere, because you don't want to offend anyone. If someone is a particular religion, or if, you don't want people focusing on the pictures, because let's say there's a family photo and people are staring at those pictures instead of worrying about the rest of the house. You don't want to distract people from what you're trying to sell. You're not trying to sell a family photo, you're trying to sell the house. You don't want to offend anyone either if there's something in that photo that could potentially be offensive, and you don't know what that could be. Over here in Orlando, Florida, we have the theme parks, and you could have a family photo of somebody that took their family to SeaWorld. And you can have a potential buyer walk in there and they're offended by the fact that this family goes to SeaWorld because they're against the animals being in captivity at SeaWorld, and they believe that the animals need to be free. And so the fact that these owners go to SeaWorld is something that offends them. And you don't want to do any, when you're selling any product, you want to cater to your client and your potential client. And you don't want to leave anything to risk or anything to chance. So hide those family photos because you never know what could offend someone and you don't want to get them distracted. So that's critical. The next thing is you want to clear any clutter, especially on the countertop. So clear clutter. Especially on the countertops in the kitchen. I know a lot of times if you're selling a home, like people like to put like their, or especially in the bathrooms, they put their medical, their prescription pills, their bottles on the countertops or on the counter on the sink or somewhere where it's visible. You want to declutter the house. You want to make it as inviting as possible. So you want to hide those things. You want to declutter the entire house, especially in the kitchen. And like I said, if they have pots or pans that are in the sink, or if anything is that you just want to make the house nice and pretty and clean as possible. No dishes in the sink. No bottles or pills or anything that is a clutter, anything that you would consider clutter, especially in those main areas. You want to take them out, put them in underneath the sink, put them in the cabinet somewhere, hide them in the closet somewhere, whatever you do, but you just want to declutter the house, and that's critical. And then the final thing you want to do, the sixth thing, is you want to create an environment that is fresh, airy, and light. So what you want to do is you want to open the windows if possible. Unless it's a really hot month, you want to open the windows so that allows some fresh air to come in. And you want to see if possible, you want to try to get some candles, some scented candles. Nothing offensive, nothing strong. Like you don't want to get peppermint scent. You want to try to get a nice scent. There's one candle that I like to get, and I get this a lot in the mall. They have a candle that smells like cookies baking. Cookie dough or it just smells, it reminds you of when you bake cookies and that fresh smell of cookies being made in the house. And that's a candle that I like to use a lot. That you don't want to get peppermint or you don't want to get some sort of live, because people could be allergic to those things. So you want to be careful with it. You want to get a candle that just gives a fresh smell. And I like to use, like I said, I like to use a candle that gives off the scent of cookies being baked. As a matter of fact, I think it's called cookie dough. And when you light it up, it just smells like you're baking cookies. And as soon as people walk, I've had showings where people walk in and they smell that cookie. They think, oh my God, you're baking cookies? They think you're baking cookies for them, and really it's just a candle. So it makes the house just feel warm and inviting. And people say, wow, this is what my house is going to smell like if I was to bake cookies in this house, and if I lived here and if I purchased this house. And you also want to open up the windows so you can let a lot of fresh air in. I know a lot of people say, well, if you're lighting a candle and you have a scented candle, you want that smell to be in there. You don't want it to be too strong. You don't want it to be too off-putting. So I like to open up all the windows, turn on all the lights. That's another one that I should put up there as well. But I'll leave that with the same category. Open the windows and turn on the lights. We'll put that there. Turn on all lights. That's critical. Walk through the house, turn on all the lights, open all the windows, and light that scented candle. So that way they can have that smell. They'll smell it. It'll be faint. It won't be strong. It won't be overpowering because you open the windows and you let some fresh air in. But it'll be just enough so they can smell nice and sweet, warm and inviting. And that's what you want to give them. So remember, these are tips that I use. It helps me out a lot. Get there a little bit early before the showing. You want to make sure, check the grass. Make sure if you have to mow or edge the lawn, you do that. If you don't, great. Let's just say you had a showing yesterday and you did that. Fantastic. You don't have to worry about this one anymore. But it's something that you have to take a look at, especially if you haven't been in the house for at least a week and you're doing your next showing. Mow and edge the lawn. You want to sweep those entryways to have good. You want to have good curb appeal. So as you're walking into the house, you just sweep those entryways as you're going in. Once you open up the house and you're in there, scrub a dub, baby. Scrub that house good, especially kitchen countertops and bathrooms especially. But scrub that house. Make sure if you had any rain and the windows have some of the dirt from the rain that just happened previously and some water stains, try to see if you can bring some Windex and spray that, clean it so they can have a clear view into the yard or wherever the view is of that window. You want to hide family photos, especially photos that have anything to do with religion or things like that that could potentially offend someone. Throw them in the bottom of the cabinets or inside a closet. Clear all clutter from the house. If they just did laundry and they're still living in the house and they just did their laundry and some clothes are hanging on the floor, take those clothes, throw them in the closet, or throw the laundry basket into the closet. Anything that's clutter, just try to declutter as best as possible. Open up all the windows, turn on all the lights in the house, and throw on a scented candle. And that smell and that warm feeling, fresh air, it just invites someone to say, hey, buy this house. So hopefully those tips helped you out. These are some of the tips that I use. I'm a real estate investor local here in Orlando, Florida. You can give us a call if you have any questions. If you're looking to sell your house, maybe we can work on a deal with each other. The phone number is 407-796-8557. It's right now on the bottom of your screen right here. 407-796-8557. Our website is webuyhousesseminole.org. That's webuyhousesseminole.org. Give us a call. Maybe we can do a deal with each other. If you're a real estate investor, hopefully these tips helped. If you're a real estate agent, these are tips that you should be doing as well when you're going to list and sell your properties that you have under contract. So these are just universal things. Hopefully this helped everyone out. Small tips, very minor, but don't overlook it. 7 to 10% of the overall price of your house can be determined by these minor little things right here. Hopefully this video helped you out. See you guys soon. Take care.